Hi everyone, this is Ling. I hope you all enjoy a good time here, and I'm happy to present our work Follow My Logic with you guys. This work was a collaborative effort with Mingyao, Xiaoyu, with the support from Wings in Prestart, an education startup focusing on game-based learning, under the guidance of professors in creative media at City University of Hong Kong, thanks to Jussi, Jixing, and Ray. We explored the generative AI's workflow in designing serious tabletop games. As we all know, designing a serious tabletop game is a complex and challenging task. Different from those digital games, the core mechanisms and the algorithms rely entirely on the designer's idea to ensure the game is both logically and enjoyable to play. For students or beginners, this can be particularly hard. Collaborative design may lead to conflicts, unclear task division, or even worsening communication issues. Or we can say, the challenges may be even greater and super different from each individual. This is really hard to conclude in one sentence. At the same time, generative AI has shown remarkable capabilities in processing textual information, like generating ideas, drafting documents, and summarizing previous content for you. Then, what if you are working with an AI collaborator instead of a human one? So this is what we want to talk about in the paper. What is the performances of GenAI when applied in game design field, and how do game designers make use of it and perceive it? Here, we start from our workshop experiences in 4 weeks, together with 10 creative media major students in game, animation, and art background in our institutions. Participants were asked to design a whole new tabletop game using GPT for text generation and Midjourney for image generation, with full freedom in creative theme and game mechanisms by themselves or decided by AI. We observed the whole process and collect data in between, and did semi-structured interviews afterward for qualitative content analysis. Okay, let's take a look at one of the games we get. The designers started with a vague concept, a game theme around environmental protection and energy conflicts. Drawing from inspirations of the World Council, he relied heavily on GenAI to generate game rules, props, and mechanisms, such as ask for a background board for movement tracking, a dice-based player actions, and a scoreboard for point collections. And we can see GenAI suggested something else, like character skills and conflict mechanisms, and the designers accepted most of GenAI's content. He only made minor tweaks, like refining the player distance and some numeric work. This case reflects actually a high level of reliance on GenAI for both structure and narrative, positioning GenAI as a trusted design partner. While, as we can imagine, this is the most ideal situation, most designers don't act in this way. They find it difficult to clearly convey their design intentions in just one prompt. So, prompting emerged as one of the most critical challenges when working with AI. We observed 2 main strategies that students use to overcome the issue. The first one is to repeat, hoping for a better version without modifying any language in the prompting wording. And the second one is split, just to break down the request into smaller, manageable pieces. And we can see these are actually the normal way people dealing with non-game specific problems found in the previous research, which means they actually don't know how to prompt effectively in the game concept. As well, regarding the whole process, we found that participants who started with no clear ideas and just randomly started for contents, just as the case we showed before. So what we call AI-based participants tended to trust GenAI outputs more than those who came with a brainstormed and organized game concept. And the game rule generation was the most frequent use case for GenAI, especially generating the text content. It helped beginners quickly get a working draft for the gameplay process. However, when the result didn't meet the expectations, just as we discussed, so many participants choose to manually revise content rather than go back and forth with GenAI. And this turned out to be more time-saving and effective, especially when dealing with some vague and creative ideas that is really hard to express in words. And in general, most participants didn't see GenAI as a creative co-designers, but more as a source assistant, something that provides structured materials or fill in templates effectively. And one common complaint was the GenAI can't really understand what designers can talking about. Instead of communicating more to get collaborative results, they only provide affirmative and generic responses. And this actually suggests a key limitation in AI's role in collaborative creativity. He supports productivity, but do not facilitate thinking process. While we still value a lot on the future development on integrating GenAI into the tabletop game design flow. And we think the key is to better handling the partial ideas into a structured framework that AI system might be easier to understand. So here we present some directions that can be applied in the future systems. First, we highlight the need for modular prompting, allowing designers to revise specific parts without disrupting the whole game logic. Secondly, incorporating parameters controls can help users tailor outputs to match their design style and intentions. This is also crucial to reframe GenAI's roles as an idea enhancer instead of a creative replacement, helping spark ideas without taking over the process. Finally, we also suggest that future systems should support iterative refinement, where designers can adjust and test AI outputs more fluidly instead of starting from scratch each time. And the conclusion in the paper might be limited from some constraints in the workshop design. Since the workshop lasts only for 4-week sessions, the improvement might have come from the participants' natural idea development rather than just the GenAI's work. Also, we only work with 10 students from similar backgrounds, so the findings might not reflect how all designers who may have a variety of majors and backgrounds. As well, the game design is always a recursive iteration and more complex in the playtest sessions, which we haven't concluded here. But still, we can see great opportunities for future researchers. And thank you for your attention. This is our lab information, and we are always excited about new ideas and open to collaboration opportunities. Feel free to reach out if you are interested in working together.